Virtual Time Machine Podcast, Season 2, Restart. You ever have a really good idea and then you go and try and implement it and it turns out to be not such a great idea? That's what happened to me on Season 2 of the Virtual Time Machine Podcast. I really wanted to up my game and produce an incredible podcast. And I was trying to, do what I felt like other highly professional broadcasts were doing. Felt like I could be there. I could do that. One of my favorite podcasts is Under the Influence with Terry O'Reilly. If you've ever listened to CBC Canada, they play that podcast on the radio. And of course, it's a podcast now, recorded and available online. And I really, really enjoy it. First of all, I like Terry O'Reilly. I like his content. It's very insightful. And I thought, I could figure out how to do the high quality production that they do. They have really good intro and outro with sounds and background music. And yeah, it's really good. So I thought, oh, that's what I'm going to aspire for. And so I did that. I actually recorded, episode 1 and episode 2 of season 2. Both of those podcasts, I think, were really good quality, but I ran into this big reality check. In order, I figured out how to bring in the high quality production sounds and do the dubbing and the editing and everything else. But what I realized is to do that takes about 8 hours a week. And I just simply don't have that time. And so what happened was I really couldn't devote that much time because I had project realities and other priorities that I had to deal with. And I wasn't able to really pursue it. Another thing that I came to realize is that the podcasts were getting really long. And there was just way too much emphasis on production value versus content. So, and then, through the summer this last year, we had some challenges within our family. We lost our dog. That was a trying time. I took on a brand new role as the president of one of our local Rotary clubs, which takes a lot of time, and there's just only so much time you have in the day. So the reality was I got 2 podcast episodes done and no more. And then in about October, I put out a note saying, hey, where's Barry? Because, I took on this other little project called Train for the New York City Marathon. And so, the podcast took a back seat for a few months. But one of the things that I've learned over time is, and I've said this before many times, is that planning is more important than the plan. And also listening and adapting to the situation is also super critical. So the point there is that your plan, it's a good roadmap, but inevitably stuff comes along and you have to change and adjust. So I thought, well, I still want to produce the podcast. I really love doing this. But I don't want to leave listeners dangling the way I did. So I'm really, really sorry for that. I apologize. I just got totally overwhelmed with too many things and had to just sort of take a step back from the podcast for a few months. However, I'm back. And over that time, I really thought hard about what do listeners really want. And, I'm assuming that you are like me. So what do I really like when I'm consuming this kind of content online? And 2 things come to mind. First of all, I want content. I'm not so worried about the production value. If it's not, I don't have a real need to hear high value production. I'm more interested in hearing what the podcaster and their guests have to say. and how that information can help me. So what I need to be focusing on in this podcast is content, good content, stuff that you can use. So I want to really focus in on that and less on the production value. And then the second thing is that I like to be able to see the person that I'm listening to. So some of my favorite podcasts, they also record the video along with it. And I find that really excellent because, I don't know, the visual component is really cool. Even some people watch radio broadcasters on TV, right? So I like that. So I've invested in a good camera and a good microphone so that you can hear me well and you can see me. And I'm going to make a renewed commitment to get the podcast up and rolling on a regular basis in 2019. The production value isn't going to be as fancy schmancy as I was starting out to do, but the content is going to be the primary focus. And you're going to be able to either listen to the podcast on your favorite podcast app. I'm going to push it across several different apps, not just on iTunes. And I'm also going to be posting the video recordings of the podcast and the interviews when we have guests up on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. So you can watch it if you want to see what, just have that visual along with the audio. You can do that. So you've really got the flexibility. If you're driving in your car, you can listen to the podcast with just audio. And if you're listening in your office or at home, you can put it on YouTube on your TV or on your computer monitor or your tablet, whatever, your phone, and watch. So that's about it. I'm going to get going on recording the new episode 2 right away. So thank you very much for understanding and for sticking with me. And I'm going to do my very best to hold to the schedule this year. And I'm going to worry less about production and more about making sure that I get the content out. All right. Hope you're having a terrific day.